Did Bobi Wine's speech have a wow factor or not?
I gotta convince. So, of the party, of the caliber of members like Meda Segona, Mwanga Chivumbi, on nomination, I was seeing his brother chairman Nyanzi, I was seeing Nubian Lee. So, you can expect that even people who are contributing thought to go into the manifesto are these guys. And I can understand if they were singing about it, but writing concrete policies for which you're going to run for the next 5 years, I can't expect much. You see, the only compliment I can pay President Museveni is that his class of 86, the guys he went with to fight, even now when you listen to them, those guys were probably the smartest chaps in their class. You know, the quality of thinking
was up there.
The quality of thought was unmatched. I subscribe to the notion of a functional dictatorship than a failed democracy. Because for us, this is the failed experiment of democracy. That whenever they see something that looks like a nail, a hammer just thinks of hitting. So their solutions, their approach towards things are what you are seeing now in this country. Everything is as militarized as can see because the person who is running show is a military person. So with Gen.Mugisha Muntu, Robert Kyagulanyi and Mubarak Munyagwa, I would obviously pick Gen.Mugisha Muntu to run the affairs of the state, and I'll give a caveat.
Hey guys, welcome to On The Board podcast. My name is Francis Mukole. Today, we are bringing to you guys something very special. This is Beyond the Bites. It's going to be a political segment onto this platform that's going to be giving you deeper analysis and perspectives of political events that are happening within and outside of Uganda. Now, to kick off this particular segment, I have a good friend of mine who is very, very prolific when it comes to political events, and I thought to myself, what better way to start this episode or this segment with a banger than to bring the man himself, Alex Taremwa, onto this platform. Alex, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Alex Taremwa.
Thank you, Francois. As the man has said, I'm Alex Taremwa. I teach at the Kyagulanyi University, the Graduate School of Media and Communications to be precise. He happened to have gone to that school, so he's one of our proud alumnus, and I'm very
Tell them I'm a master's degree holder.
I know masters. So I'm very happy to be here. Thanks
pleasure.
for having me.
Alex, like, you know, the week has unfolded. Like, the week unfolded with, you know, I think it's fair to say that this week has been a very serious political pumped week. And we started with the nominations, which started with President Museveni, and then now we have Bobi Wine, then we have the rest of, what's the name of this, Nandala Mafabi, and then the other party members who are nominated for presidential, you know, elections. And the reason that's why I decided for us to do this particular segment is to just look at exactly, to give a deeper perspective of what happened. For me, my highlight, of course, from the presidential nominations was Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine's nomination and what happened during his nomination, and even before, because before it was actually alleged that by the Electoral Commission that he didn't have enough signatures, which they eventually, you know, expedited and gained. But now for me, it's more to the buzz that was about his speech that he delivered after, you know, his nomination. And the big question of the day for me when it comes to Bobi Wine's speech is, what was the wow factor? Actually, what was the wow factor in Bobi Wine's speech? Because for me, in my opinion, I had the opportunity to listen to all the three speeches, and if you ask me, I would say that if I'm giving award for the best speech after nomination, I think Nandala Mafabi will take it. And that's why I actually ask now, if people did not pay attention to Nandala Mafabi, what was so unique about Bobi Wine's speech?
Okay, so I think to narrow down our conversation to speeches would be to trivialize, to minimize, to make small what was a grandiose aspect in our political in our political history. So we had, for starters, about 250, more than 250 people picked nominations forms to run for the top office in this country. And the Electoral Commission, up until now, has people who are complaining that they were locked out of the process because it was only a 2-day exercise that brought an all-man race of 8 candidates. So you can maybe credit the Electoral Commission for sieving through those 200 plus aspirants to come down to 8 candidates. Because you can imagine what a ballot that has 200 people look like. Just because anyone can afford 20 million shillings and has a senior 6 certificate. But then again, now on the grand scheme of things, everyone who is in that race is sponsored by a party. We don't have any independents in this election, which is unique from the other elections that at least I have witnessed, and I've been a voter since 2006. So, coming down to the days of the nomination, the first day I thought went quite well with the incumbent president and the second time aspirant, an evangelist, a pastor, I don't know, Joseph Elton Mabilizi. In the last election, in 2011, he gave us some good bites. I remember in the presidential debate, Alan Kasuja asked him, "What are you even doing here? Like, why are you on this stage?" And he asked him, "Do you think you stand a chance?" And the other guy said, "I don't think I can lose this election." For me, that was amazing. I like people with confidence like that. And then, of course, new entrants who have just come out to the stage. I think we have about 4 of the 8 that had not contested for presidency before. With my man, Erosania
Munyagwa,
Mubarak Munyagwa, Mugatigwa Bata, and a few other new upstarts that have come. Nonetheless, when it comes to the speeches that you've mentioned, because every candidate was given a chance to
give a speech,
to give a nomination speech, and then go to their rally and also speak to their supporters. I also listened to all of them. I would disagree with you on some aspects. I think that the most didactic speech probably came from retired General Gen.Mugisha Muntu of the Alliance for National Transformation. Although the one that carries energy, that carries charisma, that carries bravado, pompous, the joy, the masanyalazi getwagala.
Bobi Wine.
I think that Robert Kyagulanyi Centum knows how to communicate his message to his people. His message is not what I'm going to do for you guys. His message was, this is a protest vote. We are not in this election for any other reason, is to show the establishment that we are not happy with the status quo and we need things to move in a different direction. For Honorable Nandala Mafabi, I have a lot of respect for him as a person and for his CV, what he has done in the FDC. But I think since the last election of 2016, 2021, in the build-up to this particular election, he has successfully managed to single-handedly, or at least maybe with a few other handfuls in the FDC, to soil his own CV. So you will forgive many people for while he gave a good speech to not take him seriously, because
how did this soil his CV?
So first, it started with the conduct that him and the current party president of the FDC exhibited from when the last nominations happened up until when the exit of the PFF that came born out of the FDC that left with the retired Colonel Dr. Chizabesigye's faction, and the blatant lack of respect that they showed the party founder and the other founding members. And then, of course, he has not been able to shake off the allegations of his romance embracements with the state, the money that they allegedly collected. So it appeared from the beginning that he was using Patrick Amuriat as a scapegoat to elbow Dr. Besigye and those of his school of thought out of the party. And that alienation does not sit properly with a significant group of the population in this country. So whatever he said, notwithstanding, good or not,
tetwagala manya. Is that what you say? So why do you think that Mugisha Muntu's speech had the substance?
So for Gen.Mugisha Muntu, first of all, there's honesty in his conversation, but there's also it carries deep meaning. It does not just focus on the personality of the current president, Gen. Museveni, but it shows you the discontent that he has grown to understand of the man of the president to be. So he can't divorce his conversation from the person of the president, because that discontent is created by the president. But he also embodies a character, a demeanor that you wish in a statesman leading this country. So for me, one of the most profound statements that he made at Lueza is, he said, they asked him what credit he can give the president for, and he said the only credit he can pay the president is that he has successfully managed to do what he has always done, he has always wanted to do, which is to break the spirit of a Ugandan. Kukumira omuntu wali
ate ne basigala nga
so you could see that exhibited in Kololo, to just ferry people, bring them there, give them food, and those people are happy that
with the handouts
10,000 and a plate of food, so they can vote on the basis of that. That is how the majority of this country has unfortunately been zeroed to. That the vote that they are going to cast next year is not based on how much of good ideas any candidate or much of a good speech anyone is likely to make. It is how much money someone can put in their pocket. So when you think about it, that Nze Kampala, when I know that at the end of the day, our sabun nesukari is going to take the day than our ideas no bongo. That's a summation of what
that speech meant,
of what the current government has reduced us to, unfortunately. So that for me kind of depth. So even if he said nothing else, that
actually I would agree. I couldn't agree more with it, because when I listened to Bobi Wine and Mugisha Muntu speak, I took away two things. One, I noticed that Bobi Wine understands what his people want to hear. That's why they don't come with policy, this and this is what we're going to do. But then Mugisha Muntu understands who he is competing against. You understand? So that's why his mix is his speech was actually kind of like a mix of a little bit of Bobi Wine and then a mix of what he understands the person to be that he's competing against. But then
so I saw someone on social media saying that the only person who in their speech did not mention Museveni at all was Mubarak Munyagwa. And it reminded me of a quote that I read last week in Kenya. So a journalist asked the former deputy president, Kyagulanyi, why in all of his speeches he talks about Ruto, President William Ruto, than what he wants to do in 2027. And Gachagua said this, and I quote, "Every Sunday when you go to church, we talk about the devil. We've been talking about the devil since I was born. We're talking about the devil now. Do you know why that is? Because the devil is our problem. So how can you tell me not to talk about Museveni, for instance? If man, this guy has been the problem for 40 years." So
that was classic.
Some people are also looking for analysis in things that don't require analysis.
Yes.
You can't tell me not to speak about the president. And I'm trying to challenge the man. What do you mean?
And the guy has been here for years and years and years.
What do you mean?
Yeah. But then I want to ask you, Alex.
Yes.
From the three candidates.
Which three?
Okay, from let's say Bobi Wine, Nandala Mafabi, and then Mugisha Muntu. Actually, four, and Mubarak
There are 8
Munyagwa.
candidates.
No, I'm talking about the three that I really want. I want to us to focus on. The others, man, the other ones are just like dessert or something. This is the main cause.
It was sugar there. It didn't come from me. I treat everyone as equal and with a good chance of winning this election.
And we all know, but it's all written. You see, who do you think, if they created a joint government, who do you pick to be the main president, and who would you pick to put behind the scenes to make sure that the engine, which is the face works, they act as the engine, as the face actually runs the nation?
So let me get it straight. Between President Museveni, Gen.Mugisha Muntu.
No. Leave President Museveni. He has already run. We're looking at Gen.Mugisha Muntu, Mubaraka Munyagwa, and Bobi Wine. Actually, and Bobi Wine, yes. Who, if they created a joint government, who would you put as the face? And who would you
government?
Who would you put behind the scenes to work as the engine?
That's really a no-brainer. Because, you see, the affairs of the state requires a fair amount of experience. And in that group that you've mentioned, there's only one person that has that amount of experience. You see, we cannot... politics, I think across the world, has largely been bastardized. If you start from what's happening in the US now, the first presidency of Donald Trump and this current term that he's at, his second, is a clear example that this is not a trial and error approach. It's not like someone, you're not trying to date a girl, then nomugamba kusagenda yellow wars yakomeo. This are serious
now
issues
or not
of the state. So with Gen.Mugisha Muntu, Robert Kyagulanyi, and Mubaraka Munyagwa, I would obviously pick Gen.Mugisha Muntu to run the affairs of the state. And I'll give a caveat, because I had also already said that I think I have reached a level where I'm tired of military soldiers running affairs of the country. And I can justify that with the saying that my mother used to say that that whenever they see something that looks like a nail, a hammer just thinks of hitting. So their solutions, their approach towards things are what you are seeing now in this country. Everything is as militarized as can see, because the person who is running show is a military person. And I've always wanted to divorce these two things, because you can. Unfortunately, we are not in a part of the world that is fairly comfortable to not have a strong military, but having them involved in day-to-day affairs running a state is very dangerous. So I am keen on having Gen.Mugisha Muntu run the country as the head of state, because he understands the geopolitics of the area. So you can feel safe that the person you're dealing with understands the geopolitics of the area. He understands the negotiation with other more experienced senior leaders who might take advantage of an amateur, newcomer, mediocre.
So that means you earn respect from the military.
From the military, not that he, because for him he was an army commander at 43, so it's hard to find a military person that doesn't respect that person. He's Uganda's longest serving army commander up until now. So he has earned his stripes, but also his demeanor, the way he carries himself, is of a naturally built, born statesman. Yeah, and I like that about him. But then I would also need someone that can speak the message of the state to the young people. It's not enough to say that Uganda has its population more than 75 is under the age of 30 or so. So having that is one thing, but being able to communicate a message to them is another thing.
Yeah.
So first, you must have an understanding of the message, which is where the disconnect is between
The youth
and
the current regime.
But also between Bobi Wine and
the older generation.
and that generation, because he's having a hard time connecting to them, and they're having a hard time connecting to the young guys. So you need that bridge. So I think he would do a good job of it. My issue with him is he has done a good job to try and bring himself up to speed on the things that involve running of a country. And I've always been critical of people who say that he doesn't have experience, doesn't know what it takes to run a state. And I keep telling them, the reason why you say running a state is a system, it's not because there's a machine behind this building that is turning around this thing. A system is people.
Yeah.
So as long as Bobi Wine can get the right people with the right brains in the right places, this country will run faster than it probably can, because he has experience in building things from ground up,
Definitely.
including his own personality. So I can't fault him for not having been a naturally born
politician
like Muntu is, because Muntu's father was a politician. He was a good friend of the late Dr. Apollo Milton Obote. He built these things from ground, so Muntu could have had the benefit of learning
from the father.
But even Bobi Wine's late father was also a politician, and he was big in the Democratic Party, and he was big for quite a period of time. So those they're good. They make a good symbiotic relationship. And then when it comes to maybe running ministries that, like I don't know where I'd put Munyagwa.
Munyagwa,
Just give him
welfare.
Just give him his Rusania and send him in the corner. And now, now that you mentioned it, I think we missed an opportunity. Or every election we miss the same opportunity of fielding one joint solid opposition candidate. Because you see,
what do you mean by fielding?
Fielding, like a coalition, for instance.
Oh, okay.
That's
push it, like creating a coalition and pushing one political
candidate to run that coalition.
I think did it happen before?
There was talk of it between PFF, between ANT, between NUP, I think the FDC, but I think the FDC guys had already made up their mind that they weren't going to be part of that. And then when Norbert Mao and his DP already seconded their own candidate, they could have thrown a spanner in the works and taken these guys off, because the plan, I think, initially was to field the candidate. We've always failed every election season at fielding a candidate. We have alliances that collapse towards the end, because again, where money is involved, things always become complicated. And then the politicians that we have, gig.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
They eat into what would have been a solid vote of one candidate, that then will make it possible for change
to
stand
happen.
a chance.
Yes.
So now you have 7 opposition candidates who are eating into that opposition vote, and then you also expect a victory at the end of the day. Like, what are you doing? So if that conversation had happened, obviously that's how I would have selected. And then, of course, Nandala Mafabi's CV, not to discredit him, the man has done consultancies as far as the World Bank. He has been
IMF
chair of the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament for a good time. He's been the leader of opposition in a good time. Been Secretary General for the FDC for a good time, and you know what he has done with the Mugish Cooperative Union in Mbale. So when it comes to issues that have money involved, that's where
And put him.
But then I would be very careful to notice where his hands are moving, because now I can't trust him anymore as far as his under the table machinations are concerned. But anyway, we're not known for our trust in this country. We're not known for our trust.
Now that you say that.
But he made a good point. And the good point is that we lose so much money in corruption, and we have a lot of debt servicing to work on as a country.
True.
So I trust him to bring at least a bit of upspeed and keep some of our money in our pockets.
Do you know,
which is
when you talk about trust issue with Nandala Mafabi, it reminds me of an interview I had with Kyagulanyi. And Kyagulanyi asked him, so...
I've never worn a long sleeve shirt in my life.
And then...
Like, who is that? When is that?
When is that? You know what that means? It means that's a guy that can be caught in the act and still deny it.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I would I would classify it.
That's interesting.
But I would also say that perhaps this is the election. This is one of the elections where the quality of the candidates is slightly below standard for all the other elections that we've had in this country.
But how? Because Munyagwa was not there.
No, he's not the one I'm referring to.
You're referring to
a
him.
lot of non-technical, non-technocrat people who have... Now, if assuming that all the other 200 guys had been allowed to stand, these were jokers, man. These comedians. So so this year we don't have Katumba Oye, although we almost
had him.
Katumba Oye. But this other Robert, who is in the election, no, we also don't have a female candidate.
You don't. Actually,
in this election, they also locked out Yvonne Pambara and I think Nancy Kalembe. So the
quality. Actually, I don't know why they locked out in Sereko. Because if you...
I don't know.
When it comes to substance...
You see, by the way, also running affairs of a state requires some seriousness. And I say this because if you can't adhere to basic timelines that have been set by the Electoral Commission, and then you just show up late and you want to get benefit from some last minute... So I also don't take someone like that serious. And I'm not saying that in Sereko did not...
meet the cut.
I didn't have because I know he has the funds, and I know he has some support across the country, so he could have gotten the signatures. So I don't know what happened that locked him out, but he would have added a bit of value to this.
Yeah, definitely.
To this lineup. But then again, it would have had 9 men.
Yeah, I saw Stella Nyanzi, Dr. Stella Nyanzi.
Yesterday, when the conversation, and then someone said there was a poll, I think on one of the TVs, asking what could have been done to have a female candidate, and what could have been done is really for them to also be organized and
step up
and organize the requirements like everyone else has been organizing. But then so when you say that, it's as if you're ignorant of the realities that are happening on ground. We are a largely patriarchal society where most men don't think that a woman can lead. So her getting all these signatures from all these places would require a bit more investment than someone else would inquire. You see how, like Bobi Wine, when they said that his signatures weren't enough, they just made a social media call and guys were pouring at Kafule and signing things. So those realities, when someone says that they should have stepped up, they are not being fair in many ways. But nonetheless, this is what the commission has given us, so we just have to make do. But like I'm telling you, in 2001, you had like guys like Chapa Karhanga, Agri Awori. We had in 2006, of course, Dr. Cesar Besije, who unfortunately was also locked out of the process, literally, by locking him in jail. Man. So when you look at the caliber and quality, both intellectually and statesman-wise, in terms of brand and presence, aura, what young people call aura. Yeah, this is probably the most aura-less election that we are having. It's aura-free. Imagine, guys, like I remember in 2011, in the Go Forward movement, when we had John Patrick Amambabazi, Right Honorable John Patrick Amambabazi, the way he carried himself.
Oh man!
That kind of bravado, you cannot see.
Actually, the 2011 election, there was a lot of showmanship.
Yeah, you cannot see it. Just presence in his short-sleeved shirt, or just roll up his sleeves.
Oh man!
Yeah, so this is the most orderless election.
With a clear winner that is not already determined.
Again, in research, we say everyone in that category has a non-zero chance of winning this election. So, and I encourage everyone who is on the ballot, maximize, use your resources, use your new car and security guys to go for it.
You know, there's one moment that really caught my attention when the chairman of the electoral commission was like, now we are going to facilitate everything for you, Bobi Wine. The cars will be yours, will be fueled by the electoral commission, everything, including security outside and inside your home. Baby looked at her husband like,
inside my home. Yeah,
she's like, nigga.
That's deja vu. I don't want anyone anywhere near my home.
What do these guys want to do to us?
But did you see that the clip of Katumba Oye with in the last election with that pickup with 4 soldiers ahead and him in his room at the back?
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Then he got out of the he got out of the
in his room
and was like
like he has arrived.
Yeah.
It's interesting you said that you commented about the quality of the candidates now, which made me actually think a lot, and I've really thought about it very many times. For the longest time, I've always come to a conclusion that we could need democracy as Uganda or Africa, but we actually don't need the kind of democracy that was handed down to us. I think we need a democracy that is designed, predetermined by our social, economic, and political background. And that's why Chinese are actually succeeding. So I think we must design a democracy that has a pinch of either dictatorship or something that is authoritarian in a way, especially when it comes to certain aspects that are extremely non-negotiable.
Like what? Because what we have is what you described. We have a dictatorship, no?
No, we have a dictatorship that is designed to feed
masquerading as
a democracy, but is feeding a certain section of people. But I'm talking about a dictatorship that you say, when a road is supposed to be made, yes, it is made and timelines are given. When someone is caught doing corruption, they are put on a firing squad, and that is just it. When it comes to leadership or picking leaders, there's a certain robust criteria that is put in place to ensure that people are sieved and put in places of power because they actually can deliver. You understand?
So let me first stop you there. Because, you see, the word politics in itself is placating interests of different constituencies that you're governing. You get it? So that is why there are populist leaders who just basically like yes men. If today they pass a policy, for example, how we passed a policy on electronic
Computer Misuse Act.
No. This traffic.
The automated number plate policy.
The one that issues tickets. So, and people complain, like how we complained, and then they took it back for review. Or how there were tuk-tuks. Tuk-tuks were initially banned in Kampala here by the then executive director, Jennifer Museceni. And then they complained a bit, and Museveni was like, no.
Bring them back.
Let my guys do. So that's a populist leader. Cares about votes. So anything where a majority is talking, something, even if it's wrong, he's likely to grant it because he knows that he doesn't want to spoil chances of him getting the election. Which is exactly why Museceni got fired to start with, because she was blamed for Museveni not ever winning in Kampala, because for her, she was going about her work the way you described it.
Yes.
Right? Firing people, if things must be done, buildings should be broken, they break them and all that. So you could see now the clash
of ideas,
of different types of leadership. So for me, I subscribe to the notion of a functional dictatorship.
What's a functional
Functional
dictatorship?
dictatorship is what you are describing.
Okay.
Than a failed democracy. Because for us, this is the failed experiment of democracy. The only semblance of democracy we have, that every 5 years we go through this very ritual of voting.
It's a ritual.
It's a ritual. Like it's if I become
Kalombolombo.
if I become president, first thing I would abolish in this election. Because look at how much money we're spending on it. Every candidate is getting the cars you talked about.
Even MCs
the fuel,
are getting money.
getting the security, all of that. So most people can go and borrow 20 million shillings, get nominated, because they know that the money they're going to get after they get nominated successfully, they can just put back 20 million and keep like 170 in their system. Because these guys who are in parties are bankrolled to a tune of $1 billion plus to go about campaigning in the whole country.
$1 billion?
Yes.
By government?
Yes.
Damn.
So, gig. That's why you are seeing all these guys coming to get nominated, because when they qualify to go through, they're given all these niceties.
Alex, next year.
So they can just take back 20 million back to the guy who lent them, and they start bowling.
That's good. 20. They give you 1.5 billion.
Yes, for guys who qualify to go through, guys who get nominated. But of course, it's spread out in all these things that I'm telling you. So you don't have guys who are actually committed to the cause.
Yeah, so that's why the coalition is
which
failing.
goes back to the quality I was telling you. Because of the subjective motivation to run for president is not to actually win,
but it's to earn something.
Earn that content, maybe get some ministerial appointment,
Position,
some ambassador role, some presidential advisor thing, something sympathetic to your being, not because you had ideas in your system. That for me is what breaks what democracy could have been. And I agree with you that, of course, not a point of what was handed down to us was a system of governance, which, by the way, wasn't democracy, because the colonialists were ruling us here by iron fist. That's why they were disposing of our traditional leaders and exiling them. Some of them even died there in exile. So that couldn't have been a democracy that was handed down to us. What was handed down to us is a system of self-rule, which we successfully managed to screw up. Like it is in every country. We screwed it up in two ways. First, we copy and paste, which is the thing that just baffles my mind. We copy and paste things that are working
elsewhere,
in, Sweden, Denmark, and bring them down here like they are going to work. Of course they won't. We're supposed to customize this to our own
exactly
needs and wants.
And it pisses me off, Alex, before you continue.
We failed miserably.
Yeah, and before you continue, it even goes back to our legislators. You know, the so-called...
Don't get me started.
Man, when these guys go to the so-called benchmarking missions, they go out there and just come back. You know, this thing is working in China. This thing is working in America. And they carry it the way it is. And then just bring it onto the people. Currently, I got a small peep into a certain land system that is yet to be introduced here. Whereby they want to, I don't know whether it's already in place, they want to put a policy in place whereby if there is vacant land that is not being used by somebody somewhere, by the owner, government takes over it, you know, and develops it. And then their main point of argument is that it works in Germany and other parts of Europe. Why would you do that?
So, I think this conversation has taken many tangents. So
let's go back
and bring it back.
Let's bring it back to the politics.
Because, say for a land use, for example, there's already a policy here, and it's also working in other places where the government, if it has interest, for example, to build a standard gauge railway. You see, Francis, I should tell you that we spend way too much money on building projects than we would spend on them, because we waste too much time preparing building that project. So you want to build a standard gauge railway, it should take you maybe 7 years, but you take 5 years compensating people who are owning that land. The guys who are in government, those corrupt mafias, they get wind of this deal first. They go and buy cheaply those lands where the thing is going to pass. Now, when it comes to time of compensating them,
it's them they compensate.
They squeeze government for trillions of shillings because now the project going to move without. So government has come up with a policy where they first take your land and use it, and then you go to court, they get a government valuer who just now goes, while the project is ongoing, it goes and values your content, as opposed to holding the entire country ransom on a project that is going to benefit all of us by you using your underhand techniques to go buy land somewhere and then hold us on gunpoint that this thing won't pass here unless you guys pay me this amount of money.
Wow.
It's what everyone has been doing. It's all these guys that you see in this town have been benefiting from that exercise. So when it comes to land use, again, that's why I'm telling you, a functional
dictatorship
is this. I'm giving it 2 years to work. It will go. That's what I'm telling you. This is a country of small ideas. When you look across in this city, you can tell that we are a small mentality country.
Yeah, you know when we had that.
So, in Ethiopia, for instance, this guy will say, I don't care what it's going to cost, what it takes. I need a functional 15,000 megawatt dam on there in the next 7 years. So get the best engineers. If you're going to bankrupt the country or rise inflation, I want a functional dam. It will cost us in the short term, but in the long term, it will work. Just across here, south, in Kigali. That's what is that's what making the country run.
Yeah.
So if you see President Kagame hosting the foundation of these
riders, man,
Formula One guys, for him, we just say, man, I need the Formula One track to happen here in 5 years' time. So I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I need the track to be here. By 2030, Formula One should be having a track in
Rwanda.
That's the big time thinking that I want. So when you go to Ethiopia and just look at what they're doing in Addis, just with terms of roads, basic things, it's crazy. I saw a museum, it's a science museum that is almost the size of the Apple campus. You know the Apple campus that let Steve Jobs designed, the circular thing in Cupertino? It's in Addis Ababa. It's a science museum.
Wow.
You look at our museum over there. You know, and this is not the only museum. They have about 4 museums.
Yeah.
I was at the conference at the Victory Adua Museum. Man, I don't know how to.
I saw your statuses.
How to explain this to you? But those are guys who think big. We're a small country, yes, but we must shoot
higher.
Not us who are thinking on drip irrigation, bottle feed. What's going on, man?
Hey, man.
Like your top life-changing policy is to give farmers hose. So that kind of mentality, that's what I'm telling you. When I look at the candidates that we have in this race, of course, most of them haven't released their manifestos, but I have a pretty fair idea of what is in their manifestos. I can tell you not to expect much.
Why said you're going to war?
Don't expect much because the quality of thought within most of these parties and the people that you can see within those parties. Now, I saw, for example, one of the things that I have always suffered to accept within the National Unity Platform is this.
You mean within NOP?
No, you see how we're talking about Museveni militarizing things? So Bobi Wine likes to rasterize that side. So of the party, of the caliber of members like Medad Segona, Mwanga Chivumbi, on nomination I was seeing his brother chairman Nyanzi, I was seeing Nubian Lee. So you can expect that even people who are contributing thought to go into the manifesto are these guys. And I can understand if they were singing about it, but writing concrete policies for which you're going to run for the next 5 years, I can't expect much to come out of that arrangement, you know. Because the people that he surrounds himself with
oh, yes, I understand.
Let me give you an example. You see, the only compliment I can pay President Museveni is that his class of 86, the guys he went with to fight, even now when you listen to them, Rambreath, those guys were probably the smartest chaps in their class. You know, like you listen to them now, you listen to like Gen. Muntu himself, Dr. BCJ, the quality of thinking
Was
Amamba,
up there.
Uganda, the quality of thought was unmatched. But now, if alien skin can be an ambassador of a particular political party,
I think it also speaks to
hey, by the way, alien skin man, don't come for me. I know you and your guys. Stay away from me.
yeah, but I think it speaks to populist politics.
And that's the bastardization that democracy, that the one that we are allegedly inherited, has brought to us. So there must be a filter that let's limit some things, some levels. And I'm happy that Nobian Lee is running for the mayor of this area in Akawa here, which is good. I like it when people get involved like that. But when it comes to the grand scheme of things, let's friendship is good. Keep it at arm's length. Here, let's bring the guys who contribute actual things.
But I think the reason that's why there's lots of people that are coming up without substance is because, again, they've understood the narrative of what people want to hear. Twagala musaye muto. And it happened. So it's happened with a wave, with a NUP wave before, whereby we had a lot of young people coming in. But then when they got into positions of leadership, they were tested to their core by the conditions and the situations that came with being a political leader. That's why you found that many, actually, they're very. That's why you find that many of them could not actually deliver to the promises that that put out before during their campaigns. And then people that they least expected, actually, like Segirinya, came and showed them how things are done. You understand? So the narrative of, I think people have begun to understand that kacha katambula tutambulira okwo. If the narrative is about yesawa yabavubuka, you find all young men going into the ballot. But then there's little sieving done in regards to how seasoned have you been in politics? What have you done before you actually even come for a card? But also speaks to how are these cards, cards that parties babawa. What criteria is put in place to give out these cards? Is it by merit, or is it by how much money have you paid, or is it by who you know? I've come to understand that people are just about association, politics of association, but not politics of how I'm going to deliver, what I'm going to deliver. That's why people balwana nnyo okulaba nti ku kifaananyi kye ekya poster, at least kuliko ekigundi kya Bobi Wine, ku kifaananyi kye ekya poster, I've seen also for NRM kuliko guy wa NRM. So we've been reduced to that to the level of association.
Again, I'm not a member of any of these parties, so I don't know what happens internally, although I can't rule out people spending money. But there's a party that showed us how it is done. It's called the National Resistance Movement. If you were keen to watch their if you're keen to watch their primaries, if you wanted to know what money does, that's a clear example. I have never seen an election so mad with malpractice, corruption, thuggery, like that particular primary. So I'm happy to keep my data linen inside, like how the NUP guys are doing it. If it's happening within some room in Kavuli, whatever, but not in the glare of the
public eye,
at Kololo, or even in their constituencies when the primaries were ongoing. Because, man,
those guys have lost shame.
Of course not. And then these are the same guys who are going to come back to us. And again, that's what I was telling you. Also, it goes back to the quality of us, the voters. You see, we can talk so much about the quality of the MPs, about the quality of the guys running for president now, but they're a reflection of who we are as a people. If you accept to vote on the basis of soap, sugar, a 2,000K t-shirt, a cape, then you have no right to complain that the guys who you voted don't have stuff to say on the floor of parliament or cannot address a rally. You know, because these are, if you accept on the to vote on the basis of money, just sit down, shut up,
and get fucked
eat
up.
your 5K and be quiet.
Allowed to be.
That's it.
To
No,
be.
for me, that's the only thing, because we are the ones who make these guys who they are. The guys who have sense, substance, because maybe they just came out of university, don't have as much deep pockets as the others. You can never see them coming closer to such places. And part of the failure of democracy is to use some of those filters to alienate people
Yeah.
out. And then there's a popular consensus now in this country that at Aina Sente,
From Italian does.
like,
Yeah.
because we have all agreed that akarura kafe
Kasente.
sente, full stop. So
But Alex, I want to, as we about to close, I think that's a harsh judgment onto the public.
No,
You know why?
This is the most. I cannot. This is the reality. I have seen it. By the way, I'm telling you, I even stopped voting for my own constituents because people were voting on the basis of 1 bar of soap, 1 kilo of sugar, T-shirt, 5K. Even you saw in the primaries.
Yeah.
In the primaries, they say no one comes money near the polling thing. Some guy comes with 5,000,
2000.
2,000, and then guys just cross from this line to the other line and line up until those ends. And you're saying, guys, this is a harsh judgment.
No. Let me justify, Alex. This is a harsh judgment on the account of what the current government has done to the people. It goes back to what Mugisha Muntu, Gen.Mugisha Muntu said, that he credits President Museveni for doing exactly that which he wanted to do, putting Ugandans to a position whereby they are suffering, but still, so if Ugandans were actually properly empowered, or systems were put in place to ensure that these people are actually economically empowered, sound enough to make independent decisions, I believe such things will not happen.
And I don't want to be misquoted by those who are religious enough, but I'm saying it anyway. The only blessing that we got from Adam and Eve eating that forbidden fruit was one: telling between what is good and what is not. That's in the Bible, isn't it? That we got consciousness to determine by ourselves, because back then that knowledge was only restricted to the gods. That's why God told Adam and Eve to stay away from some places, because ignorance is blissful. They said no, they went and ate. We got punished, right? We are here suffering from the sin that was
of Adam and Eve.
But the only right thing that came out of that is that God accepted in his graciousness for us to have understanding between what is good
What is
and
bad?
what is not. Whether you're being brainwashed by your leader, whether you're being lied to, whether you're being held in abject poverty, there is no person who doesn't know that chino chenkola chichi chamu. Everyone knows that. But to go ahead and do it anyway is not because you're just deflecting responsibility to someone else. We can blame leaders as much as we want, but the problem of this entire country is not so much the leaders that we send, who, by the way, are very substandard. It is that us who send them there, we do so, and we do so at our own free will.
Tubasindika nga twagadde.
There's some guns and some bullets and some tear gas and some of all of that, and then of course some election rigging. But by and large, banabantu tubateekayo nga tweyagalidde. So you can't tell me mbutu twalide tumanyi kye bagenda kukola nga batuuse eyo. So for me, I have seen this country. I have been kind enough to study the voting patterns from the election I told you when I was voting up until now. I have studied the trends, the participants in that vote. Right now, I can tell you without any fear of contradiction that unless fair, but take one torch, if you're expecting the word change to arrive, forget about it.
As we close, Alex.
Yeah.
As we close, did Bobi Wine's speech have a wow factor or not? I know. Did it have a wow
Bobi
factor?
Wine's speech was good. It was charismatic. It had all aspects of communication. Wow factor, not really, because a wow factor is a take home. Abaganeke waita akatalekeka.
Akatalekeka.
Sinakalava. Sinakalava. Naye kajja.
Tegeera otya?
Nkimanyi. He's cooking.
He's cooking, eh?
Cooking, yeah. Kajja. But in the speeches that we saw, no, he was not there. And to be fair to him, I didn't see it from most of the other guys except the one I've mentioned. So, good thing is the campaigns have not officially started yet. They will start on September 29th when the Electoral Commission launches the roadmap. So the best things are yet to come. Yeah.
Kali. I hope you guys have had an interesting time with us. Feel free to share what you think. Naito Vuma. Now I got a Vuma. So Vuma nae.
Pozi kamagambene kano. Mukana kalulu. Let's make effort to be civil to each other. Me, I keep telling you that at the end of the day, when the curtain closes on us, it will be us facing each other. These leaders might not even be here, but us we will be. And this country called Uganda is also going to be. So when you pick that stone, you pick that tear gas canister, you policeman, and that rubber bullet you're about to shoot, think critically about what you are going to do and understand the implications it's going to have on the history. The record that this country is building in this election is incumbent on you to be clean, to be an exemplar for the generations that are coming before us. So use that information as you wish.
In other words, Alex Kyagambe tebukola ki? Obululu tebubaawula. Temuvimba mutima. Buli omu alina opinion, then let them be respected as is. All right, my name is Francis Semukule. This is the first episode of Beyond the Bites. Next time we're coming with a second episode. See you guys again until we meet again.